Okay, so now I have the hand model finished, as well as the foot model or toes finished. Now before I import these parts onto my body or the block body and head model and attach it, I'd like to show you something. So here is my reference, and this is in Photoshop. I use Photoshop for the accuracy of the reference. So this is the actual size of the reference. Now if I will relate it to the size of the hand model that I have created with the reference that I have here, it will appear like this. So this is the actual size of the model of the hand right now. Okay, so that's the actual size. So if I'm going to import it to the file of the model or of the body or of the character model, it will appear like this. So what I have done is I have rescaled this reference onto this size. So a simple Control T and transform, and I have just resized it that way. So after I have resized it there, now I have this scaled version saved. As you can see here, it is a saved scaled version of the reference. Okay, so now that I have that, I can close all of this. No need to save that. Close this. Okay, so the next thing now is I will just import a new image plane here so that I can rescale this, or I mean create a rescale model or duplicate a rescale model of this existing hand. So I will just go to my file. Oh, sorry, I'll go to my view, image plane, and then do another import image, and then I'll just go to our desktop, in my desktop folder, and into my folders here in the modeling and references, this one, the hand scale reference, and then I'll just open. So now, as you can see here, I can place it here. So this is the scaled version of the hand. So this is actually the size for the character. Okay, so what I'll do next is I'll just select this. No, I'll name this hand underscore base, and then I'll hold shift and drag a new one, and this is going to be hand base underscore scaled, and then spacebar X-ray mode just to see the hand here, and from here I will just raise it up a bit. I'll just select the hand and push back the reference a bit there. So I haven't hid this, so let's just go here, and then I'll just look through selected in the front. Okay, so there. So the next, I'll now press R to scale, and scale this here at the center so it will be proportionate. Press W for move, F so that I can position it properly, and then press R for the scale tool once more, and then carefully adjust just a bit more, raise this up, and R, that one, pressing F and F here, Control I to save. So now this is the scaled version of the hand. Then I will just, let me Just turn off the see-through mode. Okay. So now the thing that I will do is I'll select this scaled hand version, and then I'll just go to File and I'll choose Export Selection. So where it is there, Export Selection, and then I'll just go once more to my desktop, and in my modeling folder I have created an OBJs folder. So this is where I will be saving my OBJs. So I'll just name this my hand-based scaled object. Let me overwrite that. And then I will choose here in the file type OBJ. And then after I've chosen that, I will just choose export and overwrite. And then I'm done with that. Saving the work. Now I can close this. And now I proceed with the foot. Now with the foot, as you can see, if you will remember in our recent lesson, what I have done here is that I have scaled the reference. It is the reference that's the one that I have scaled into the size of the base foot, or the foot base, sorry. So that means I do not have to rescale this. Okay? So I have scaled the foot, and then also I will press Shift H here, because this time I will also be importing this. Okay, so I will select this once more. I'll go to File, and then I'll choose Export Selection, and then I'll just go back again to the desktop, into my desktop, and into my project folder, and once more into my OBJ folders. There it is. It is set as an OBJ export, and I will name this foot base. So let's say here I will just name it foot base. And then after that, I can also close this, but I will just choose File, Open. I'll go back to my desktop and reopen my debox head and body object. Open that, and now I have this, right? So what I will do now is I will just save this into a different version once more. I'll save the scene as, and then let me just name this hand, foot, detailed. So it is detailed with hand and foot model. So that's going to be the status of this object. I'll press W. I'll move this here. So that's your block base, body and head. I'll hold Shift and drag. So this is going to be the hand and foot detailed model. I'll just press 0 on the x-axis so that it's going to be at the center. I'll hide the rest of these objects, Control H to hide them, saving my work. So now with this object, all I need to do is do the following. I will do the usual, select the half via Q, double click the next, and I'll delete this half. Okay. Next thing is I will now go to File, and then I'll choose Import, and then I'll go to my file locations, Original, and there it is. Of course, first I will import the hand base object, not the material information there, but the hand base object. Press import, and there it is. If the hand base object, or if your imported object is showing like this, right, it means it could have glitched with the material info. So all I need to do is just right click this, assign existing material, and then I'll choose standard surface. That's it. Saving the work. Okay, so next I'll go to do another import file, import. So I'll just go for the foot scaled object, and I'll do the same. Assign existing, there. So now all my objects are there. Oops. So as you can see, the hands transform tool gizmo, I'll just select that and go to reset and reset world. Okay, close it. So the next thing to do is I will now start to attach this. So I'll select this object and then just position it accordingly. I can use the front view and just drag it carefully there. Let's say that's the joint that I intend to. Let's say I'll just drag this down a bit like that. There. So what I will do first is I will just, from here I can press Ctrl H to hide the hand initially, and then I'll just select this face here and have that deleted, and then I'll select the hand once more there, W for move. Now I'll be selecting the faces of this hand and delete it also. So remember the rule, you cannot do a bridge if first thing they are not combined, and second, but also important, there is a polygon in the way. So right now there's no more polygon in the way, so what's left to do is do a combine. So let me just check with the reference. So I'll go to panels, orthographic, and do this back view here, there. So there it is. I just need to align this way and position it that way. Okay, so let's say I still need some rescaling to make this a bit stub there and wide, and then let's say on the side I'll just do a W E rotates. Let's say let's widen it first a bit there, and then E there, and then W to drag and position. Okay, so I'm okay with that gap for now. So what I'll do next is as simple as selecting these and this, do a combine. After I have combined them, I'll just go to my edges, double click this edge, and I can now double click this edge here, and then now I can just do a simple bridge. Q. Now with that distortion on, I can double click and control backspace to remove the vertices there. Next thing, I'll just double click this, hold shift, double click this, double click, and then double click. So now I have all of those edges selected. Press F, and then I'll just do a shift right click and do a circularize there, just to round that up initially. Q, and then here I can go to vertices and start to align it as per the reference that we have. As you can see, my rotate tool is component oriented. Let's go object oriented. Close that, and then W there. So let's say we're okay with that, and then I'll just, having that edges or those edges selected, I'll go for the scale tool here. There. So okay, that appears to be fine for now. W for next is this. So for the footing, I can select this and that. So what I'll do is I'll select this polygon selection, this one, delete. Now I'll select this one, and then I'll just move it here. Yeah. Right? There is actually no worry if you can't precisely position it. No worries on that, because still you can just delete that existing polygon and just bridge it later on. The important thing is you have it well positioned. And let's just check. Okay, so let's say that's the footwear. So what I'll do now is I'll just rescale the footing a little bit so that it fits the footwear. As per our reference, yeah, so that it fits that footing size, and let's say a little bit more guided on the modeling. There, yeah, so it fits already. Okay, so as for the front view, so let's have this a bitly angled, because we have straightened these lines earlier. So I can do control clicks for vertices, and then I can do an edge slide and carefully rotate them, W, and slide them a bit like that. And then here also, that line of the fingers, I can, excuse me, I can now adjust it even further. So I'll deselect this, let's say deselect this, so I have that line first, something like within this adjustment. So that's the slide. And then here also, let's carefully adjust that, dragging it along here, there, a little bit more here, there, and turning off the slide here. So, and then here on the end here, I'll just edge slide and move. Q, select W, and drag down. Okay, let's say I'm okay with that for now. Just tweak a bit. Okay, pressing 3 there, reference, okay, 1. So now I just need to turn this a little, or angle this a little bit more here, Those are the footing. Got them. E, and then rotating them. W. Okay, so there it is. So the next thing that I'll do now is just go to my edges. Though, sorry. Next thing to do now is just go here and select the two of them and do a combine. Edges, double click that loop, double click this loop, then do a bridge. Q, W, and there you have it. Right, so now I have those edges there. If I press number 3, okay, so far that's the character in barefoot. Okay, so the last thing to do now is duplicate this, but we need to position our gizmo properly. So I'll press letter D, and then I'll type in 0 here in the UCS. It's here, and then another 0 here on the y-axis, and 0 on the z-axis, so that it will be at the center of 3D space. And then I can switch to the move tool, or sorry, selection tool. Yeah, and then as you can see, this is where the duplicate special is going to start. Saving my work, so I'll just go now to file, sorry, edit. So I'll choose duplicate special. So the values are already there, negative on the X scale, copy, apply, close. So it's precisely there. I'll just select this, do another combine, and then I'll press Control click. So all of my vertices and edges are selected. Sorry, all of my vertices are selected. So look at that poly count. So the next thing is I'll just go to my edit mesh, and then I'll choose merge. So meshes got less, or the vertices got less. So that means the polygons are now already merged. Pressing Q. So now I am finished finally with the body. Oh, sorry. Edit, delete, all by type history. So there it is. So now this is the hand foot detailed. So now, as you can see, here is the evolution of our objects, or of our model, starting from the block base up to the trace, the deboxification or the deblocking of the leg, and then deblocking of the arms, the head and the body deblock, and finally it is now complete with the hand model. On the next lesson, we will start with the face.